The 10 most dangerous books in history and why they cause so much fear. Literature has the power to inspire, challenge, and at times frighten. Throughout history, certain books have been banned, persecuted, and deemed dangerous due to their revolutionary ideas or their impact on society. Here we present details about 10 of the most controversial and feared books and the reasons they became so controversial. 1. Mein Kampf by Adolf Hitler. Why it is dangerous. This book, which translates to My Struggle, was written by Adolf Hitler during his imprisonment in the 1920s. It lays out the Nazi ideology, promoting anti-Semitism and racial supremacy, and thus setting the foundation for the most brutal regime of the 20th century. Its racial content and vision of purity led to the extermination of millions. Banned in many countries, its historical impact makes it as feared as it is infamous. 2. The Prince by Niccolò Machiavelli. Why it is dangerous. Written in 1513, The Prince offers a cynical view of power, stating that leaders must be willing to be manipulative, ruthless, and shrewd. Although it is not a guide to evil, its reputation as a manual for tyrants has inspired dictators and unscrupulous politicians. The term Machiavellian comes precisely from the tactics that Machiavelli presents, often interpreted as an invitation to moral manipulation. 3. The Communist Manifesto by Karl Marx and Friedrich Engels. Why it is dangerous. Published in 1848, this manifesto calls for class struggle and proletarian revolution, and it has served as the foundation for many communist movements in the 20th century. The idea of abolishing private property and bourgeois values became the core of regimes like the Soviet Union, which influenced revolutions and conflicts worldwide. In some countries, it is still seen as a text that incites social unrest. 4. The Protocols of the Elders of Zion, anonymous author. Why it is dangerous. This book is one of the most damaging anti-Semitic texts in history, even though it was proven to be a forgery. Described as an alleged Jewish conspiracy to dominate the world, it has been used by anti-Semitic groups to justify persecution and discrimination. Even after being debunked, its hateful message was so powerful that it influenced leaders like Hitler, perpetuating harmful prejudices. 5. On the Origin of Species by Charles Darwin. Why it is dangerous. When Charles Darwin published this book in 1859, it challenged the religious view of the creation of the world and life on Earth. The theory of evolution by natural selection changed how we understand biology and human history. It has been misinterpreted to justify eugenics and racism, which heightened its controversy. Even today, it is debated due to its conflict with religious beliefs. 6. The Social Contract by Jean-Jacques Rousseau. Why it is dangerous. Published in 1762, Rousseau argues that sovereignty lies with the people and not with monarchs. This idea inspired the French Revolution, where people sought to overthrow the nobility and change the political system. At the time, this was considered a threat to order and social stability. The social contract is seen as the origin of modern democratic ideas, although it was censored in its time for inciting disorder. 7. Uncle Tom's Cabin by Harriet Beecher Stowe. Why it is dangerous. This novel, published in 1852, exposes the cruelty of slavery in the United States and was a powerful call for its abolition. Its impact in the South was so strong that it was banned in some states and criticized for provoking social tensions, to the point that Abraham Lincoln reportedly told the author that her book had started the war. Stowe showed the world the pain of slaves and the injustice of the system, boosting the abolitionist movement. 8. Ulysses by James Joyce. Why it is dangerous. Published in 1922, Ulysses was considered obscene and banned in the United States and the United Kingdom for years. Its experimental style and explicit sexual content made it a target of censorship. The story follows the life of an ordinary man in Dublin, but its complex narrative techniques and open treatment of sexuality challenged literary and moral standards of the time, making it one of the most censored novels of the 20th century. 9. The Adventures of Huckleberry Finn by Mark Twain. Why It Is Dangerous. Despite being a critique of slavery, this 1884 book was banned and criticized for its use of racist language and its portrayal of black people in the United States. The novel has been censored in several schools and libraries for being considered offensive and promoting stereotypes. Twain used racism as a critique, but the harshness of his language and realism made it a subject of controversy. 10. Thus Spoke Zarathustra by Friedrich Nietzsche. Why It Is Dangerous. Published in 1883, this book develops revolutionary philosophical ideas such as the death of God and the concept of the Superman, a superior human who creates their own moral values. These ideas challenged religious and moral norms, later being used to justify extremist ideologies. Nietzsche never intended to promote hatred, but his concepts were misinterpreted by Nazism, and his legacy remains a critique of dogma. Final reflection: the power of ideas. These books have impacted humanity with their revolutionary ideas, their criticism of established norms, and their ability to inspire profound changes, even if in some cases they have also justified atrocities. Literature has the power to question reality and provoke reactions, showing that words, more than mere writings, can have the power to transform and, at times, to destroy.